Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit Canfield's From the Heart Floral and Gifts, and I prepare salt and vinegar pickled potato salad. But first, it's a hike through a hidden gem nearby, Nelson Ledges State Park. John Trevelin is a manager with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, and he manages parks and watercraft. And you have 3 parks under your jurisdiction.
Yes, I manage West Branch out in Portage County, Lake Milton, and Nelson Kennedy Ledges, which is where we're at today.
And, you know, I always thought that Nelson Ledges was, you know, the Party Quarry Park, or it was the Raceway.
Yeah.
But I never realized that there was a section that's owned by the state of Ohio, and it's been over
it's for several decades.
Years.
It's for several decades. ODNR's had this property, and we're really known for our trails here. This is the rock outcrops and other things. We're not the quarry park, and we're obviously not the racetrack, but we have some of the great hiking spots in Northeast Ohio.
And I am really excited to see all this wonder, because he's like, you've got to come out. Well, I was really surprised when you told me that this was under your direction, because I didn't realize the state was involved out here in Nelson. We know about the Quarry Park, we know about the Raceway, but I had no idea that we had all these, you know, wonderful hiking trails.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we're most known for up here. You know, Nelson is one of the hidden gems in Ohio.
Right.
When you talk to people that, you know, peruse the internet and stuff, Nelson Ledges is often one of the top 10 hidden gems in Ohio. And looking forward to kind of bringing you out on the trails today and showing you what it's all about.
And they're really not that involved. I mean, some of them are difficult, but they're not long. They're all less than a mile.
So we have about 3 miles in trails total, and there's some difficulty. There's some that are easy. Our white trails, the one that loops around, and there's some terrain changes there. The red trail is fairly difficult. You need to, there's some tight openings that you're going to have to go through, and obviously we want people to stay on trail and have good footwear and other things in order to kind of come into an environment like this. So.
And what are some of the highlights? Like, what are some of the, you know, sites that we are going to see? So
when people pull in, 2 of the big draws here are obviously going to be our waterfalls. We also have some trails and caves and just really unique rock formations. If you're into photography, you're going to be impressed with what you see up here. This is some really unique terrain, really neat vegetation, really neat rock formations. So,
well, I am excited. So we're going to get the 25-cent tour with John. So what does these double squares mean? We're on the yellow trail.
We're on the yellow trail right now, which is one of our mid-range trails. And those things that we're looking at on the rocks are what we call blazes.
Okay.
And those help identify that you're on the trail and you're going in the right direction.
And now we're taking a left.
Yeah, so these ones that are side by side.
So where are we?
And we're headed right into what we call Old Maid's Kitchen, which is one of our points of interest.
Oh, this is cool. So this is a cave.
Think of days and ages before we had things in our region like Geauga Lake and, you know, other things that people did for entertainment. So State Route 282 was one of the ways that people got from to Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Right.
And this was a great place to stop off. As you might have noticed when we walked in here, there was a little bit of a temperature change.
Oh, it's
Think about hot summer days when you kind of get to experience this, and it's like natural air conditioning before everything was air conditioning.
We don't take advantage of our own history and natural resources.
Yeah.
You know,
this place is unique. You know, people have been coming here for a long time, longer than I've been on the planet.
Exactly.
And I remember being a kid coming here, and you know, when I learned that I got to work here and be one of the people to help maintain it and open it up for the next generation of customers.
Well, you're doing a good job promoting it. You got me here.
So as you kind of look here, you can kind of see where the red trail kind of cut down and go through some of those areas. But these are examples of the blazes. And just kind of ask our guests to try to stay on trail and be alert.
So the red goes here and then right down there.
Goes right down there.
Well, maybe, you know, when I return, I will be in tip-top shape for the red. So we have good air quality here.
So it's kind of neat though how all this stuff kind of blends in and all the natural shades. But you can see the different layers of the stone. You can see some of those honeycombing effects that I talked about earlier. You can see some of the cross bedding, but you can clearly see the sandstone quartz exposed in some areas and where it gets eroded. And eventually some of that erosion happens and these things slump over, and that's why they refer to these as slump blocks. You can actually kind of see that piece that we're looking at right now was part of that one that was above it at one point.
And it dropped.
And erosion, wind, water took this all away, and eventually, through thousands of years, it landed there.
So this is probably one of the easier trails?
Yeah, we're on the White Trail. We're on our way towards Minnehaha Falls. As you can see, it's pretty level. Pretty easy to traverse. Not a lot of elevation changes.
Yeah, this is really very, very nice. And unfortunately, it's been dry, again?
Yeah, the water flow's a little low for right now, but I think you can get an idea of what it's like when we have water pushing over that.
It's still really pretty. Well, I'm gonna tell you, we covered a lot of ground today.
Yes, we did.
And you were a very good tour guide, John.
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Yes. So we did the Minnehaha Falls.
Yes. Checked out the two waterfalls. We saw Cascade.
Cascade Falls.
We saw Minnehaha. We went through
the kitchen.
Old Maid's Kitchen.
And we saw all of the, quartz, the reliefs. I mean, there is just really a lot going on here.
Yeah, I kind of hope you got to see why a lot of people refer to this as a hidden gem in Ohio.
Exactly.
There's a lot of great reasons to get outside. It's good for our health.
And then you got the gorge. No, and I mean, you look at that. Oh, look at the people we've passed. It's been young and old. And,
yeah, you got a nice spectrum of people coming up here. The folks that know about this place, many have witnessed it and experienced it, and they want to come back. And there's some good reasons for that.
Well, I guarantee that I will be returning, and
great to hear.
I'll let you know. I'm going to even try the red trail.
I'm looking forward to it.
And if I survive, I will let you know how it goes. But no, it's not that dangerous. But I just can't believe this is 30 minutes from me.
This place is close, it's convenient, and it's got a lot of adventure.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And all seasons it's open. I mean, this is stunning. Stunning. Thank you. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Kamara Jewelers is the place to buy an engagement ring because we want a relationship with you that lasts a lifetime. Your commitment with her is the same commitment we have to you.
We want to sit down with you and teach you about diamonds so you're educated on what you're buying. We have the largest selection we ever have, which is the largest in the area, and at the best value. And if it's not something in our case, we could always custom make it. We can make any dream come true.
Get real, get Kamara.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank. And that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too, and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid.
You better come on in my kitchen.
I'm about to make one of the most interesting potato salads ever. I am a really big fan of salt and vinegar potato chips. And lately, everything has pickles in it. And they now have like pickle flavored potato chips, which are excellent. And I have put them both together in a potato salad called salt and vinegar pickled potato salad. And it's very few ingredients. Absolutely everything is in your pantry except maybe the fresh dill, but that really adds a more pickly flavor to it. And it's really easy, and you don't have to worry about the mayonnaise or any of that stuff. So I really think you're gonna like this dish. So let's get started and we'll go over the ingredients. For this recipe, you'll need 3 pounds of yellow or Yukon Gold potatoes, scrubbed and not peeled, 1 red onion sliced thin, then cut into half moons, 6 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and 1/2 cup of chopped dill pickles, and 1/4 cup of chopped dill fronds. First thing we're gonna do is pickle the red onion. It really adds a nice different flavor to this potato dish. So what I'm gonna do is 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and then 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Not a lot, just enough to, make an impact. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna mix this together and let it sit for about half hour, 45 minutes. But it really does soften up nicely, and it mellows the real sharpness of the red onion, and it really adds a nice flavor dimension to this potato salad. So we're just going to mix these together and let that marinate, and we'll get moving with the rest of this dish. So next, I'm going to boil these potatoes. I'm gonna put them in a pot, cover them about 1 inch over, and then add salted water. And we are going to boil these, once it comes to a boil, about 15 minutes or so. We want them to be fork or knife tender, but not too tender, because then they'll get a little mushy. And the reason I'm going to boil them whole is because it won't be as watery. That will keep the firmness in the potato. So I'll put those on the stove now. All right, so the potatoes are now cool enough to handle. They boiled for about 15, 16 minutes. You don't want to be too hard, but you don't want them to be too soft. These are just right. So now all I'm going to do is cut them into bite-sized pieces. And there's not a lot of water in them because I kept the skin on. And you see they're pretty firm and stuck together because a lot of water did not get in them. Now, a lot of people peel their potatoes, but there's a lot of nutrition and vitamins in the potato skin, or as my daddy used to call them, he would call them jackets. And he was like, always eat the jackets on your praties. So I eat them a lot with the skin on. So I will finish cutting these up, and I will assemble this, and we are going to have some delicious potato salad. All right, so our potatoes are still warm, and they're cut into nice, bite-sized chunks, about 1 inch or so. And now we're gonna dress it while it's still warm, because then it really sucks in all the flavor. So we have the olive oil, and we have the salt, and then the vinegar. So I'm just gonna whip these together, get this nice and emulsified. And then we are just gonna pour this over these potatoes, and it'll suck it right up. I mean, it really will suck up this juice. And we'll just, turn this to let it all mix together. You don't want to break up the potatoes. That's why I'm using a larger wooden spoon. So now that looks good, doesn't it? I mean, right now I could eat this. Love potatoes, love vinegar. When I have French fries, I always use vinegar. I don't really use ketchup. But now we are going to see how nicely The onions, they really did mellow. And there's a little bit of juice left in there. So we are just gonna throw all the onions in and get those distributed throughout. I'm gonna tell you, these onions really are good. Love onions. And these pickles, are these adorable? I use the little baby gherkins and I just sliced them and they're so cute. And they're dill. Now, I don't really care for the sweet or bread and butter pickles, but if that is the pickle you prefer, use that. If that's the pickle you prefer, I'm gonna say that 3 times fast. And then last but not least, these wonderful dill fronds. So, let's mix this up. Hey, he escaped. And then we'll get this ready to serve. Because you could serve this warm, you can serve this at room temperature, but I'll tell you, the next day it's delicious too if you serve it cold. So after you mix it all together, adjust the seasonings. If you think it needs a little more vinegar, fix that, or salt. But I think if it needs more salt or pepper, because I didn't put any pepper in it, you can always pass that at the table. And I did a little taste, and I've got to tell you, this is an excellent batch. I mean, it's really good. Make sure you grab a little of the onion, a little of the pickle. A lot of the dough. It is so savory, and it's so good, and there's no mayo. So it can sit out and it's perfect for, tailgates, football season, or, just dinner any night of the week. And I think a really nice pairing with this is a real dry Sauvignon Blanc. This one is so reasonably priced. Excelsior, it's from South Africa. And I think this will go really well with my little pickly salad here. Delicious. So, for this recipe, it is my salt and vinegar pickled potato salad. Say that 5 times fast. Just go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. Look for this recipe. You are going to love it. Promise. Cheers.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Righetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
We are getting close. Scaba Camp is almost here. A year-round destination for adults with disabilities and their families to get away, close to home. Accessible to all, with no barriers. Donate now to GABA Camp. Help others to enjoy this unique recreational destination. For adults with disabilities and their families to enjoy an accessible camping experience. Donate to GABA Camp. Giving is living.
Well, I'm here with Janice Patola, and she is the owner of the Last Flower Shop at Canfield.
Yes, I am.
I mean, could you believe you're last of the Mohicans here?
No, I actually can't. No.
And you've owned this place for quite a while.
Yes, I've been here 17 years.
How did you get into the flower and gift business?
It was actually a little odd story, but I actually began doing things out of my home, gift baskets and different things. And I knew someone who worked in the shop and was letting me know that she was going to, they were going to be selling. So I wanted to come and check it out. And I did. I ended up buying the business and just growing from there, learning. There was a lot for me to learn. Because the floral part of it, I wasn't,
Well, exactly. I mean, the arranging, the ordering.
Yes.
I mean, getting that.
Yes, learning all the
pattern.
flowers and all the plants. And I mean, I knew quite a few, but not enough to say I knew enough.
So the gift extension was probably a little easier since you were already doing baskets and stuff.
Yes. I was more interested in the gift end of things.
Right.
And thought I would see, if I had to fade out the floral side of it, but the floral side of it was just great. So I thought, okay, well, I need to get on board with this and, and start doing my thing, and it worked. I mean, it is unbelievably, it worked.
There is something for absolutely everyone in here, Yes. I mean, whether you do want a gift or an arrangement, and then the fresh flowers. I mean, I'm still such a fan of, a fresh bouquet, or when someone sends an arrangement. I mean, I really love that.
Yes.
And, it's really special that they took the time out and, thought of you. But, when we were talking earlier when I was here, corsages and things like that are kind of on the way out. And remember Easter?
Yes.
My dad would get
Yes.
me and my sisters and my mom the corsage, and we'd go to mass and stuff.
Yep.
They're not wearing those at prom and stuff as much. Now it's like the little...
Yeah, it's the little handhelds now. Those are the most popular. We do still do the wrist corsages because there are some girls that like the wrist corsages.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably an 80-20, like as far as, one to the other. There's definitely more people who like the handheld bouquets. And now I've noticed in the last year, these girls are getting, where they want them bigger. They want them bridal.
Like a bridal.
Yeah. And that's okay with us. We're happy to do it.
Exactly. But then that's a lot more on the dude.
Yes.
Yeah, a little pressure there. I mean, that would almost freak guys out, right?
Yeah.
They're like,
we'll do any size.
Here comes the bride. Okay, you're in high school. Well, that's interesting. But you still get a lot of requests for that, don't you? For
Yes,
the
we
fresh
do.
flowers.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. People go on the website and they see a particular photo and they want that exact arrangement. I mean, there are things that say, we don't always carry every flower every day. So we try to have a nice variety, and sometimes we have to make some minor adjustments, some substitutions. So we'll do that, but we try to keep the coolers really stocked. I mean, I have several coolers, so we try to keep them stocked to have a nice variety.
And you have quite a staff.
I do.
I mean, you don't design everything that's up here. You've
Correct.
got a lot of dried flowers and a lot of wreaths and stuff.
Yes.
How many do you have back there? How many elves
I have
help you out?
I have 4 designers.
Right.
I have a couple drivers. I have a couple front end people, and myself. So we managed to get it done.
I mean, you've got a little cottage industry going.
I do. We have grown probably in the last few years quite a bit. To where I brought on more people, brought on an extra driver, had to get another van, that kind of stuff. So it's been a nice jump.
Mary Jo is one of the floral designers in the back room. And Mary Jo, you are making a fresh and a fake, is that what it's called?
Artificial. Fake.
And this is for fall.
Yes.
And is this for somebody specific, or is this just your own creation?
Just making this on my own. It's not for anybody specific.
Now, it looks like it's going to be
long.
Is this more like for a table?
Yes. It'll be long and low so that if you're sitting at a dinner table, you can still converse and not have anything in your way. And you'll have a nice fall centerpiece that
And
you have
where
to
did you
achieve.
learn this craft?
On the job training.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I do think there is a real art to this.
I've always loved it. I've been at it for 25 years.
Wow. Is there anything you really don't like working with? Or is there one flower or something that you really are not a fan of and you don't use?
Not really, because
You like them all?
I like them all. I mean, some people don't like carnations, but
I know. I was
there's
just
so
gonna
many.
say, I've got girlfriends that hate carnations.
There's so many beautiful colors.
I know, and they
now
last
that it's
so
just-
long.
Yeah.
smell good.
Yes.
So you're not a carnation hater?
No, not at all.
And it's our state flower. I think it looks very cool because you have this and then this. Isn't that lovely? Now, Sam is one of the other floral designers, and when she heard Mary Jo and I talking, you are defending carnation.
Yes, I am the carnation advocate of our shop, and every shop I've ever been at, you know, there's so many people who think carnations are like, they're a cheap flower. They're, you know, no carnations, no carnations. Well, I think they're beautiful. There's beautiful varieties like this bicolored orange and pink, you know, this beautiful lavender. There was a time when carnations were kind of boring. They were red and white, but they've grown so many new varieties now that I'm like the give carnations a chance girl.
And they smell good.
They do. They smell good, and they last for weeks and weeks on end. I mean, carnations will last longer than any other flower in your arrangement.
Well, Janice has got lots and lots of here. I mean, you have the fall, Thanksgiving, Halloween, but the big mother's coming, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You really roll it out for the Christmas holiday, don't you?
We do. The entire showroom gets transformed into a winter wonderland.
Wow, that must be fun.
Yes, we put up different vignettes. There's different themes for each vignette, so it's really special.
Well, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. And Facebook, your website, everything will be there to show, you know, when and what's happening.
Yes, it'll let you know when our open house is coming up, and you know, we do pictures with Santa for dogs, so we do that every year, so that's coming up as well.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.